Hello my friends, it's Colrain or Colrain Tarot here on YouTube. My pronouns are they, them, and what I'm creating for you is a video kind of similar to one, or I guess it is exactly like kind of repeating but with new messages. A video that I've made in the past. This video was called Conversations with Spirit, and I think I'm going to leave it the same title, but we're going to be just doing it for a more updated or modern version. And I'm gonna have 3 piles for you today, so if you're ready to select your pile, of course, please take a deep breath, get your consciousness to connect into your physical body to help you to interpret the messages that your intuition is bringing to you, and your spirit guides as well. So here is the first pile. This is a smoky quartz point. So this is going to be the first group. Group 2 is, I believe this is called jungle quartz, or jungle agate. I don't remember exactly, but I will have it in the description in case you're interested in this piece. So this is group 2. And then group 3, I also, I chose ones I don't know the names of, but this one, I forget the name of the fossil. It's a specific type of underwater oceanic fossil. So if anyone remembers or knows this name, please comment that if you can. But here is the fossil. So that's group 3. I'm going to light the incense if you need a little bit more time to choose. This is a jasmine incense cone to bring in some divine love from our angels and our guides and our ancestors, and to support the reading with that energy of love. So if you're ready, I will see you in your pile. Otherwise you can pause and choose if you need a bit more time, but I will see you in your group. Hello, my group 1. If you selected this smoky quartz crystal, this is your conversation with spirit reading. So I'm going to set this up to the side. I don't want it to cover this beautiful incense setup, so I'm going to set that there. So we're just going to begin to channel in some messages from your guides, from your angels, from the source of all life. Some may call them God, some may call this spirit. Oh my goodness, and we have messages coming out for you, pile 1. So your guides are not playing. Oh my goodness. There were 5 cards that just jumped out. I was actually planning to just keep kind of shuffling, but they're really wanting to take the reins right now. I'm feeling a bit of a pit in my stomach as I'm tapping into your energy, group 1. There's something here that's maybe really heavy on your mind or affecting your emotions quite a bit. And for some of you, I am feeling that this is because you're quite an empath. And what that means is, not in the cliche way, but it means that you do feel and sense the emotions and experiences of others. And that may make you somebody that's very kind and compassionate, and you can really listen to and just sympathize and empathize with other people's feelings. So a lot of you may work in fields where your empathy, your compassion, your sympathy is really needed, because you may be somebody that really needs for your career to be able to understand and also anticipate the emotions of others. But it's almost like you're not aware of fully how to regulate this experience. And it's interesting because some drone just flew over me, which is strange, but it almost seems like these emotions are like surveying or invasive to your like home life. So it almost seems like you're the type of person that might be bringing work home with you right now, or just taking these emotions and having them kind of invade or like overlap situations that they just don't belong in. And this also may just be energy that other people are sending you. If you're somebody that's in the public eye as well, this may not be that you work with people in a very empathetic or sympathetic way, but you work with a lot of people or around a lot of people. So for some of you, I'm just getting the indication that you could work in a really busy setting, like in in like a retail environment, or some of you may work like at a grocery store or something where there's just like a lot of foot traffic through, and so people may be projecting a lot of energy onto you throughout the day because of the very nature of like the building or the environment that you are in. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I haven't even looked at the cards really yet, but it's just what I'm picking up intuitively. We have here the Three of Fire. This is Tucana, expression, confidence, and communication. Lyra or Lyra in reverse. This is the Nine of Water, so another bird. These ones kind of came out together. This is play, pleasure, and indulgence. And then the other card that came with them was also in reverse, and this is the Temperance card, and it is the element of air. And it says Pictor, assistance, encouragement, and patronage. So yeah, like I said, this is just kind of affirming what I already picked up on intuitively, is that you're somebody that's like an assistant or a helper. You have to help people basically navigate their emotions throughout the day. Even if you do, like, let's go back to that example of you working in the grocery store. Even if you do work in like a grocery store, you're doing customer service in some sense. So there's some aspect of this kind of job or this experience almost burning you out, and making it so that there's a need for more creativity in your life, especially since this is the card of like artistry. And then Lyra here says play, pleasure, and indulgence, and it's in the reverse. And so it feels like you're not being able to meet your emotional needs because of whatever this communication is, or whatever this kind of highly charged, especially since this is the fire card that's come out, Three of Fire. There is a lot of like passion, and sometimes fire, when we get too close, it can burn us, and it leaves an imprint on our soul or our spirit. So there's just something here about the things that are around you or things that people are saying to you is really weighing heavy on your soul or your spirit. And it's just almost invading your time of peace. I feel like something that Spirit wants to bring through immediately is, especially with the Nine of Water and the Temperance card being reversed as like descriptors of the situation, it's just showing to me as the reader that it's really time for you to like sit and take time to indulge in play, in experiences that bring you comfort, that also represent to you a moment of creative expression, and that feel peaceful and restorative for your soul and for your physical body as well. And for some of you, this is going to be quite literally sitting and doing some kind of creative thing, but I am an art teacher outside of doing this, and something that I see when people do take that time to connect with their creative self is that a lot of judgment will come up, and I feel like you are or at least this group in general has the type of people in it who may not indulge in their creative practice as much as they might want to, and so there may be a tendency for that judgment to come up if you do take the time to sit with your creative projects or whatever you want to do, to express yourself in that way. So just knowing that when you do this, it might be helpful to have people around you who can encourage you, who can laugh and have fun. You might not want to bring, your most serious friends or the people who are full of drama if you do want to do this kind of a thing with another person. Definitely be mindful about who you're asking to sit with you and to facilitate this experience with you, because I do feel like for a lot of you, what's going to help you feel restored is to have other people around you kind of helping you to organize this, so it doesn't feel like a draining experience, especially if you know some people that have maybe less responsibilities than you, or if it is something where, because I am picking up for some of you, you're just somebody who's really full of service and loves to find motivation when you are serving others. So maybe you do have friends that are either just as responsible for things or maybe even more, have more responsibilities than you. And so setting something up like, you know, an afternoon like paint or craft session, or even like knitting or crocheting might be good for some of you, or baking can be another thing too. That's coming through. But setting that up for the people in your life that you really care about, you may find a lot of fulfillment and restoration in that once you allow yourself to maybe not take it so seriously. Just make it casual, you know, like say, hey, does everybody want to come over, and just, you know, have some kind of creative restoration. For some of you, if you are watching this a little bit after when I post, because I will be posting this early September 2023, you may want to do this as like a healing or restorative experience. If you do follow astrology, there's a lot of planets retrograde right now, so I know a lot of people are really needing to spend this time to just connect to spirit. That's what I feel like creative gifts give us the ability to do, but also just to restore through this really kind of chaotic time. But also we're heading into Halloween, so maybe I'm just, you know, spitballing creative ideas. You might want to do like a Halloween themed type of thing, but or Samhain if you celebrate that, because that's what I celebrate. But or Dia de los Muertos if you celebrate that, or Diwali, because I know that Diwali is coming up too. So anyway, we have Uranus, passion, indulgence, sexuality, and the Seven of Air in reverse. I think it's Cephas is the constellation on this card. Foolishness, anxiety, and reluctance. So interesting, because these two cards came out separately from the first three. So there's something here about, I feel like a lot of you are actually suppressing some aspect of your self-expression in general. It's just what's coming through with that, especially with the number 7 being on the Uranus card. And the words passion, indulgence, and sexuality. I'm just feeling like there's something where you maybe know a part of your sexuality or part of your deeper like creative self, or an aspect of your soul that you used to express quite often. But there's something about holding that aspect of yourself back or keeping it hidden or suppressed recently with the 7 of Air in the reverse. Because it doesn't feel, I feel like if the 7 of Air was upright, this may be talking about, you know, being betrayed in a sexual encounter, or in a romantic relationship that is a sexual relationship as well. But because it's in the reverse, it feels like this is something that's internalized. And with the words foolishness, anxiety, and reluctance on it, the word reluctance stands out to me a lot, because it's something where this is an energy that I've picked up as one of the like core energies that I feel of the 7 of Air, especially since both of these are 7s. 7s talk about our self-expression and our sense of personal identity. So there's just something here where in that core energy that I know of this card, that can sometimes be like self-sabotage, or not following through on commitments to self. Does that make sense? So I feel like for some of you, you're like, oh, you just read me. I don't know why that just came up, but I'm just feeling like for a lot of you, this is a message that you've known about, but you really needed the confirmation, or for someone to say it out loud to you. And so this is actually an invitation for you to begin to express and accept, and for some reason I'm hearing redeem yourself from those times where you've kind of put that self-expression on the back burner, or not fully embrace those aspects of yourself. For some of you, this could be like not taking care of yourself in the way of like how you present yourself physically. So this could be, you know, being lax about haircuts, or like body care, like taking care of certain parts of your body. For others of you, this can also be being lax with correcting a mindset around how we talk about how we feel about our physical body, or how we accept the treatment or the judgment of others. So this may be going back to the first message that I was feeling intuitively, that some of you have taken on a lot of energy that isn't yours, or projections of what other people, like judgments from other people, where it just doesn't feel like that's an authentic experience to who you are. But you're going home and maybe feeling really drained, or feeling self-critical, or feeling a lot of shame over who you are, just know that if you are experiencing that, this is not yours. This is something that the divine really wants you to release, and also call in spiritual protection around your energetic aura to release and create a barrier between you and these judgments. And for some of you, I am almost feeling called to like start like a little prayer for you at this moment, to just we're gonna do that. So if you have my permission, we're gonna sit here and do a little prayer. So for my pile 1, Spirit, will you please be with them and stand over them and fill their entire energetic body and their energetic system with love, acceptance, ground them into this earth plane, and help them feel connected to the lessons and the beautiful journey that they're on. Please, Spirit, will you help them to cultivate an energy within their aura that when they receive any negativity, any judgment, any guilt, or projected energy that is not theirs, that they do not want to integrate into their life, that does not feel productive or helpful or from a place of love, will you please help them to transmute this energy into an energy of acceptance for self and passion for life, please, Spirit. And help any of the souls who are sending them energy that is unkind or unhelpful. Please help those souls to connect with their own inner divine and to find the divine within their life. Thank you, Spirit. Beautiful. And I feel like the entire energy just shifted, so that was a really beautiful and powerful experience. But that is all I am seeing for you, my group 1. This did not go exactly the way that I expected, but I'm honestly really happy with the messages that came out. But I actually, before I close this, I am feeling that I want to get you one more card just to close. So Spirit, what does pile 1 need to hear before they leave this reading today? Thank you. We have 1 card, or 2, actually 3 cards that came out. I'm going to take them all. 4. Holy, got some hidden energy that still wants to be aired out. So we have the 4 fire, opus, performance, acting, and ego, with another bird. So birds may be a very strong and significant spiritual guide for you at this time. Birds of any kind. Just pay attention to what birds come across your path. Oh my god, actually 3 of these cards have birds on them, so please pay attention to birds. Grus, longevity, commitment, and eternity. Water Queen. And then 5 reversed, Jupiter, conversation, persuasion, and charisma. So I feel like this is an energy that they're wanting you to step into, because the Tower is accompanying all 3 of these birds, and this is like a big like fish. It's a like river fish, and it says that it's an I'm like getting tripped up on my words. This is an air card as well, so same as the Temperance card. Air energy, again with the birds too, so you may be an air sign, but it's Eridanus, a twist of fate at the mercy of a greater power. So again, I feel like this is just a confirmation that when you do feel some kind of discomfort within your energy, just give that over to the divine and say, please higher divine, take this energy and use it for my highest good and for the highest good of all. And it's also interesting, there's quite a bit of Aquarius energy here. So the Tower in this deck is connected to Aquarius. We have the Uranus card. Uranus is a co-ruler of Aquarius with Saturn. And then we have all these birds. And so this energy I'm feeling is where you're trying to go towards. This is where Spirit's leading you. And at the center of this energy is the Queen of Water. And for me, the Queen of Water doesn't have to be a feminine figure. This is more about accepting our internal emotional experience and connecting with caring for and tending to when our intuition is telling us things through our emotions. And this leads to greater self-care, and for some of you, a greater experience of self-expression, because our self-expression does stem from our connection to our emotions very clearly. And especially since you have a bunch of air cards, you have Aquarius people are the people who are going to say the thing that nobody else in the room is wanting to say, because they know it's the truth, and they know that they're going to disrupt any energy in the room that is not in alignment with the truth. So, for a lot of you, this is also going to be speaking up. You have Jupiter in this card too. So Jupiter is about expansion, higher learning, and also heading to a next stage in a situation. Jupiter ushers in a blessing, and sometimes blessings are things that are going to be destructive or that are going to change the status quo. So this can also be changing the status quo, like in terms of the way that you speak to yourself or the truths that you accept within your own life. And then the Four of Fire here on the other side, that persuasion, acting, and ego being involved in the Four of Fire. This is talking about a foundation of who you see yourself as. So again, this definitely has to do with the way that you see your self-worth and what you'll accept in terms of the things that are blessing you and creating beautiful change and foundations in your life. This is all that I'm seeing for you though, pile one. I know I tried to close it out a little bit earlier, but I just felt like there was unsolved energy. You're definitely stepping into a period where things are going to change for the better for you when you commit to the guidance that your angels, spirit guides, and ancestors are bringing through to you. And you begin to acknowledge and accept where spirit is showing you the truth. Because for some of you, it's almost like you're denying things because you're getting negative downloads. And so it's really time for you to accept that it's not negative, it's spirit trying to show you the truth. And for some of you, you may want to work with Archangel Michael especially. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you so much love, so many blessings, and I'm so grateful for you and for all other forces, spiritual connections that we've made that have brought us together in this time and place. Yeah, I just love you all so much, and I'll see you in another video. Bye, my friend. Hello, my lovely second group. If you selected this little jungle stone, that's what I'm going to call it right now. I know it's some type of agate, but I'm just not remembering exactly. But anyway, group 2, you have such a lovely light energy about you. There's something here where a lot of you, I feel, are caretakers, or you may have like kids or grandkids that you're just very much responsible for, or you have some kind of not responsibility, but it's like a bond, a connection that you share with others, where other people, animals, even plants for some of you rely on you quite a bit. And spirit just wants to acknowledge your big and loving heart. And the card that just wanted to did you see that when I was like trying to cut the deck, it kind of popped in between the two groups. This is Hercules, the 3 of air. And this card says great effort, trial, and persistence. So a lot of you, I'm also seeing 111 on my timer as I'm doing this. And then the death card's on the other side. A lot of you may be going through some kind of really heavy emotional experience, but your spirit and your soul is so used to being resilient that you are not letting this emotional trial, or for some of you this is even a mental trial that is connected to the emotions, get you down. So for some of you, you may be actually dealing with literal grief, losing a loved one, and if you are, I'm so sorry for your loss. This is not an easy experience to go through, but just know that there are ways to find peace following those kind of experiences. And if you are not going through something like that, yeah, even as I'm looking at this, there's the 7 of fire, and it says perseverance, stamina, and survival, and this is the Hydra. And the Hydra, I believe, is the beast that Hercules fights. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know Greek mythology all that well. But yeah, I believe that there is something that feels like an almost insurmountable problem or blockage or thing that you're dealing with. And for a lot of you, this has to do with a past life experience. And for others of you, this has to do with something that you've been battling or dealing with since childhood, since you were very young. And it may even be something that you inherited. So if some of you are dealing with the passing of a loved one who was involved in your life in early childhood or at a very formative period of your life, this may be an energy that this person was dealing with that you almost inherited through knowing this person. And so their spirit is saying that they want to help you to move through this experience with this energy, because it's something that they could not transmute in their own lifetime and didn't get a chance to really address because their perspective was limited in their human body. And so their spirit is wanting to, so I'm sorry if some of you are not connecting with a passed on loved one. If you are not connecting with a passed on loved one, this is going to be an experience that a living parent or living relative cannot deal with and address. So you're the next one in your ancestral line who's being gifted the ability to transmute this issue. Yeah, I am just feeling a really strong energy of perseverance and the light of your soul and the endurance of your soul coming forward to continue to step up against these energetic challenges that are coming your way. So let's see what else is going on. The two cards that are on the bottom of the deck at this time is Cancer, the Lovers. This is a water card. And this says family, affection, loved ones, and connection. So you may be a Cancer. Someone involved in this situation may be a Cancer. Or this is just representing that fourth house energy of home, hearth, your root subconscious mind and connection to family and comfort in the home. For others, I don't know why I was going to give another option. But I guess maybe this is a second choice. This is card 15, the Comet. It says a sign of fate, harbinger of change. And this shows some kind of like monster holding someone onto a porch. So whatever you're going through, this does have to do with your home, and your home may be harboring some of the energy related to this experience. And I feel like for some of you there is some kind of work that needs to be done within the home that's going to help to raise your spirits towards this kind of foggy or challenging energy. For others, I am picking up really strongly that it's important for you to do some kind of past life regression or connect with an experience of a lifetime beyond this current physical lifetime, because there's something about your human approach to the situation that feels incomplete. There's just a lot of flies around me because it's like kind of a humid hot day, and you know the flies will be doing that when it's this temperature, so I apologize. But yeah, I feel like you're just a very understanding person, and so you may be also tempted to get yourself wrapped up in other people's issues to kind of bypass or not focus on your own. Because I am feeling like some of you were feeling a little sympathetic towards me over like having the flies around me or whatever, so I felt like I needed to address it. But I feel like for some of you, especially if you are like that first message that came through, a caregiver, you may be focusing on those younger people or the people that you do take care of, and kind of like siphoning your own care and direction that's trying to, it's almost like your spirit guides are giving you the energy to be caring, but you're like giving it away instead of like using that energy and saying thank you and integrating it into your body. And so it's like there's a gratitude practice that needs to come out of this experience of discomfort or feeling upset. And for some of you, this also can be, if it's uncomfortable to do this, it can be something as simple as going and finding a tree. If you have a special tree on your property, that may be part of what that home connection was. If your home feels pretty, cozy and comfortable and the energy feels good, going out and sitting with that tree and really grounding yourself at the base of that tree is going to help you to understand and remember your safety, your security, and most importantly, your purpose and connection to being here on the earth at this time. And it's going to help you to ease some of that discomfort, because trees are great listeners. On the bottom of the deck, what we have right now for this energy is the King of Air, the Lynx, silent observation, subtleties, and opportune timing. So yeah, you're needing to be a bit more aware of the thoughts that are going through your mind. Some of you are really plagued by pessimistic thoughts and old narratives that are inherited again. And the flies are just like getting in my way a lot more than they have been, at least for the other reading. The first pile. So there's something here about those thoughts feeling quite intrusive, and sometimes you're identifying with the thoughts. And so this King of Air may be a spirit guide of yours, or it may represent the person who has crossed over if you are connecting with that energy. Where it says silent observation, subtleties, and opportune timing. There's just this energy of using the qualities and characteristics of a cat in your own life. So what this might mean is that cats, they're quite curious, and they also don't really give up if they make a mistake. Cats are also quite confident and comfortable in luxuriating and taking the time to really rest without shame or without judging themselves for taking that time for themselves. They're also quite confident hunters, and they will remind us to be playful at times when we sometimes are taking things too seriously, but they're doing it in a very serious way. And so as I'm saying this, actually, one of my cats just appeared in the window. And she's looking right at me. So it's just and she's a very silly cat too, but she's quite a good hunter. So she's one of the only ones that's actually like very curious about hunting. And it's a playful type of thing too. So there's just something here about being the observer and taking the time to slow down, because, and I tapped the deck on here on accident, but it was definitely on purpose from Spirit, because they're saying, listen, you need to calm down and slow down. For some of you, I am feeling some almost ADHD type of energy where your mind is just really active, or you really like to have things filling up your energy. And for some of you, this is to avoid spiritual gifts that you have. I'm guilty of it. Sometimes it's, sometimes a little creepy, or it makes you kind of confused because you may not know how to interpret the things that are going on around you. But Spirit's saying that you have guides that are with you and really sitting with you to show you the way forward, and also to ease your discomfort if you do have any fear of anything that you can't understand or tangibly explain. So there's another message here. When I said can't explain, there's something here about if there's a lot of like tragedies or not even tragedies, it's like confusing energy around you, where things are just not going your way and you're really confused about it. Spirit wants you to really release any negative mindsets you might be having towards your own ability or actions that you've been taking towards whatever goals or whatever things have been happening. And don't see it as like being punished is part of what's coming through. Sorry, I haven't even gotten to the other side. And 1111 just caught my attention too. So your guides are definitely trying to bring through synchronicities. And I'm pretty sure I said in your group 111 was catching my attention. So repeating ones are really important for you, because it's showing that you're at places where you can make those decisions to make a new decision when you see those numbers. We have Mercury here, which is card 1. Can't make this shit up. Sorry, I shouldn't be cursing, but can't make this up. Mercury here says business, salesmanship, and fabrication. And what I'm getting from this is like a tricky energy, but not in a negative way. It's more of like recognizing that when there's experiences around you that feel like they might be an ambiguous situation, you're not sure if it's negative or positive, go with it and see what it's trying to teach you, because Mercury is our teacher. Mercury is a planet that reminds us about the importance of communication. And also for me, this is like a personal message that my spirit guides have given me about Mercury, is that Mercury is a planet of translation, and translation happens beyond linguistics. Translation, yes, can be a linguistic phenomenon, and especially is important in linguistics, but it's also something where we, use our creative gifts to translate certain information and messages. We use our body language as a translation from a mental thought into a physical expression and a display and a performance of how we're feeling. So Mercury is a performer too. It shows us, the ability to portray things in many ways. And I actually was just drawn my attention over to a hummingbird. So hummingbirds may be definitely connected to whatever spiritual issue, or I don't know why I wanted to say issue, because I feel like you feel like it's an issue, but I don't know if that's the way that your guides want you to see it. Whatever spiritual phenomena that's going on, I feel like your guides want you to take a bit more, I don't know why the phrase came through of a positivity pill, but they really want you to change your perspective and enable yourself to be a bit more optimistic and have more of a childlike spirit about the situation, because I feel like a lot of your guides want you to approach them more like a child would, and in that way you're going to feel a bit more reliant on them, yes, but what the guides of this group are really wanting to get across is that they need you to have a bit more of a belief, because the reason why children are so reliant on their caregivers, which is interesting actually if you are a caregiver and they're telling you to kind of embody being like a child. The reason why children are so reliant is because they have to have that faith that other forces are taking care of them, because they're physically, emotionally, and experientially limited. And so there's something here where your guides are saying, hey, you may have guides that have had quite a few human lifetimes for themselves, and so they do have the experience, and they want to bring through that experience of having wisdom poured into you. And so sometimes wisdom does not look the way that our logical, rational experience or our logical explanation for things comes out. And I've just been noticing this card. So this is the Eight of Fire, and it's Coma Bernices, and this is dedication, oath, and symbol. Yes, this is going to that faith, faith of a child. Your spirit guides, and especially the source or the divine, if you are somebody that's kind of religious or you have a connection with God, I feel like God, the Almighty, the source of life, really wants you to relax and put your faith into that kind of an energy, and maybe reconnect with prayer for some of you. Yeah, because this dedication, oath, and symbol, I'm really drawn to that heart tattoo on the arm of this character. I'm forgetting exactly the story, but I know that this story is about a wife who makes a dedication for her husband to be able to come back. And I saw 555 on the clock too during this. So there is a change here based on a spiritual ritual that you might be guided towards. And ritual doesn't even have to be something that we think of, like a seance, like the candles are going, we've got, the cards out, we've got the invocations or whatever. This can be a little bit less formal. This can be, taking a bath, that is a spiritually based practice. This can be taking a walk in your neighborhood. Anything can turn into a spiritual ritual if you just put the intention behind it. Either that, or your guides are going to interrupt you while you're in the middle of doing something else that doesn't seem like a ritual, but they're going to be like, hey, now that you've slowed down, now that you're taking this time to do something, for some of you this is going to be cooking, because that might be the only time you take time to slow down. They're going to be like, yo, we need to talk, we want to really put you on the right path, because the Eight of Fire I also see as receiving messages. So and what this is going to do is actually allow you to set up a contract with a divine force that allows you to actually make some progress in terms of resolving some of those lingering issues and emotional experiences that are just kind of causing you a lot of grief and discomfort right now. So the other card that we have here that I feel like is going to be the final card in this reading is the Knight of Air, and it says Orion, skill, ambition, and momentum. Interesting. Orion is a constellation that I feel like is one of the most famous constellations, but it's also a constellation that connects to our understanding or theories, I guess if you want to say it like that, about alien consciousness or also life on other planets, like extraterrestrial life. So you may want to look into the Orion constellation, or it might be labeled online as Orion Starseed Collective and looking into that. But there's something here about understanding the nature of the universe and also the nature of suffering. So this was I know this reading is going a bit long, but there was this download that I got the other day that I feel like I'm supposed to share with this group, and it was a moment of my own personal healing where I almost had a revelation through something that I was listening to, where it was like God brings, and I know the language can be triggering, but we're gonna, use the language we have available, right? So God will bring challenges or challenging experiences to test people on how far they might act out negative or harmful impulses. And sometimes we wonder, like, why does God or why does the divine source not intervene? And for some of you, I'm feeling like this is where you lost your faith in the past, and that's why this is being brought up, is when you were going through really harmful or negative or challenging experiences in your life, some of you were like, well, no one's watching over for me, and it's very obvious now, and you stepped away from spirit and you have definitely reconnected. That's why you're here. But there's this resentment or frustration that is keeping you from being in communion and being held by the divine. And so what this message is bringing through for you right now is saying that sometimes the divine will bring these experiences through and not intervene to show the true colors of the people or the organizations or groups or just the mindset of a certain part of the collective that when unobstructed will show its true intentions and will show the true experience of its own how do I want to phrase it, the experience of its true heart, like where it's truly at. So for some of you, this is going to be a person, and so if an experience was really harmful in this way, this is the divine coming through and saying, hey, look, you were not meant to suffer. It's like, I'm sorry that you suffered in this way, but there's a reason for it, and it's to bring divine justice to this other group or this other party to show that they were willing to go that far, that they were willing to take this experience this far. And I'm so sorry that you, like my child, my beloved, was in contact with this. But the thing about spirit is that spirit is not incarnated in the physical in the same ways that we are. Spirit can influence us, but there's some ways where, we have free will because we are in the physical body, we are in the material world. And so the divine is saying, look, I want to make this up to you at this point in your life. I want to give you a new eyes, a new perspective on this. And that's why I feel like these two cards are really closing out this reading, because the Orion card here says skill, ambition, and momentum. It's saying, Spirit's saying, I want to restore your ambition. I want to restore your sight to see your skill, to see your momentum, to see where you're headed in life, how these harmful or negative or frustrating or upsetting experiences are actually something that I was using you through to show you your strength, to know that you can handle these things, and then also show the truth of a situation. So that's a very beautiful message. I want a very final card, actually, because I don't want to fully end it on that. I want a final card for my group 2s, please, Spirit. And they're actually calling me back to the stone that you selected. So The Emperor's on the bottom with Leo, reputation, showmanship, chivalry, and loyalty. You may want to look where Leo is in your chart, or where fire energy is in your chart in general. A lot of you may be fire signs. I am definitely feeling that with that. And the Strength card, so definitely some Leo energy coming through. But your crystal here connects you to nature spirits and to the Fae specifically. So if you are looking into working with some kind of connection with spirit that feels a bit newer to you, or maybe even connected to your ancestry or lineage, definitely look into connecting with nature spirits. And you're the group that I did tell to go and sit at the base of a tree, so definitely look into that. I believe a dryad would be a fae that's connected to the spirit of a tree, so maybe look into that. But here we have Strength, which is a water card, and it has all the fixed symbols, the symbols for the fixed signs at the base, like at the base, kind of like climbing up to the bottom of this boat. And I happen to know this is the Puppis card, which is the poop deck on a ship, and this is where we steer from. This is where we get our drive, or our ability to make choices and decisions moving forward. So Spirit's wanting to leave you with this message of strength, saying emotional stability, endurance, and resolve. You're someone who definitely has the ability to go the distance, is what I'm hearing. You're someone who's allowed to take yourself forward, who Spirit believes in your ability to get through whatever you've gone through and come out beautifully resilient. And Spirit's not only saying that, it's not up to you totally to do this. This is something where Spirit's saying, I'm the ship, I'm the water, you're the one who's my precious cargo. And so, that makes me so emotional, honestly, because I just feel this for you, Pile 2. I feel like you've been feeling like you're really left in the dark, and Spirit's really wanting to come through here and say, you are not alone. You are not by yourself. You have not been by yourself a single second of this journey. It's just because you can't see, you can't feel me in the way that you have always been able to, because of some of the experiences that you went through. But Spirit's saying, I've not left you. So that's what I want to leave you on today, actually. I'm sending you so much love, Pile 2, and so much gratitude for being here and just being committed to your own spiritual journey today. I want to send so much gratitude to every force in the universe that brought us together, and I'm so grateful for this reading today. Bye, Pile 2. I will see you in another video. Hello, Group 3. We're roaring into this reading, I guess, with that street noise. So, Group 3. Interesting. I feel like you're somebody who spends a lot of time in silent contemplation. You're definitely someone who takes their time to make decisions, and you're okay with being patient with the universe. And your spirit guides want to say thank you for that, because this is, I feel, a time of being patient and also cultivating and really taking the time to plant the seeds and also tend to them. So the first energy that's coming out for your group is the Six of Air, which is Ursa Minor. And it says on it, identity, essential nature, and awareness. And so I feel like this is actually a newer energy for you, where you may not be used to being so quiet and still and reflective. And it's interesting that I said you take a lot of time for contemplation, because literally this person is sitting here looking at their own reflection. And the reflection in the pond is a very strong animal. It's a bear, and it has fish swirling around it. So you may feel connected to those animals in general. I'm also being drawn to the cactus shape in the back, so you may be somebody, and there's a lizard. You may be somebody who's really connected to the desert. Or you may feel like you're in a period of your life that feels very deserty, meaning that there's not a lot of prosperity or opportunity that seems very apparent around you, but it's like your spirit guides are guiding you to be more resourceful through this experience. I intuitively and clairvoyantly picked up on the image of a ball, so some of you may be Taurus, or you may want to look at where Taurus is in your chart. Or specifically look into what the second house is doing for you, because I believe that Taurus is a ruler over the second house in astrology. So those may be some promptings if you are into astrology. So let's start to get into this conversation with spirit and see what your guides want to bring through. As soon as I cut the deck, we have another air card coming forward, the Four of Air. So while you're moving into this new sense of self and this new identity, definitely, if you have not looked into this spiritual symbolism of a bear, you should definitely look into what the bear represents and what the bear symbolizes. Because there's a bear on this card, and there's not a lot of bears in this deck, so this is definitely a synchronicity on purpose, but it's also an air card too. So air has to do with the mind, our communication, but also our soul. So for some of you, you're in a period of hibernation for your soul, because the bear, it goes into hibernation for a certain amount of months throughout the year, through the winter. And the desert also, to me, kind of symbolizes the similar thing as like winter, of being resourceful, of kind of going through a period of isolation or desolation, of feeling a little bit left out in the cold sometimes, because deserts can get really, really frigid and cold at night. But yeah, the bear shows that you have a soul or a spirit that is really made to I wanted to say persevere or endure, but it feels a little different than that. It's like your soul wanted to go through a certain time period to kind of cleanse you of certain, I'm hearing karmic events, and that card just fell off. And I didn't even explain, it's the Ursa Major. So you have Ursa Minor and Ursa Major together. So this is like your soul on a higher level, like your higher self, and then this is your bodied self. So what your bodied self is going through right now is talking about, you know, experiencing the identity, looking at who you are as a person, your essential core nature, what really matters to you, and then what your higher self is doing is accepting that you're going through a period of deep integration, because it's not even transformation. It's not like you're moving on or anything. It's not like a lot is really changing around you. It's more of like coming to terms with and pulling and acknowledging what's going on from a spiritual perspective. And this says courage, guardianship, and conservation. So yeah, your spirit is conserving its own energy in order to be able to connect with that deeper soul knowing of what's going on in life. And that card did fall down, so I'm going to leave it down for the rest of the reading. And the bear is actually being shot at by a bunch of different planes and stuff, so it's like your soul may feel like it's under attack by a lot of like, I want to say, if you believe in like demonic sources or things like that, it's not even having to be that, but it's more of like lower, I guess people would call it like lower vibrational. It's hard because as a reader, I have certain terms that I just don't know if I feel like they're a very truthful way of saying something, but I don't necessarily know if I have a better way of saying them. So I guess it's more of like temptations or just less evolved ways of thinking, maybe. some of these intrusive things, they're just things that feel very separate from your understanding of source or knowing at a soul level. So like your soul is just honestly confirming to itself its own growth, and things that you've already realized and understood from a place of love, gratitude, and compassion, wisdom, and acceptance. These are things that your spirit guides have brought through, that now they're saying, okay, since we've given you the information, we want you to really affirm and know and have experience that seeds into your soul this as a truth, so that you don't have to pull this information from an outside source. This is something that it's drawn up from within you. And what this card wanted to reveal when it fell off was the Eight of Water, and this is the Equilus, hiding from judgment and insecurity. So this is usually a card of being able to walk away from things that are not our full truth, and not just walk away from, but not validate, not give power to the things that don't serve us. Yeah, hiding from judgment and security. And then the roses were really standing out to me on that card too. So there's something about being able to get your flowers or get your roses, being able to connect with the love of the divine. Whenever someone gives roses, this is like a divine love. This is an expression of like deep admiration. And we have another 6. So we have the 6 of air that's still here, but then the 6 of water wanted to come up to connect to that message. So I'm really feeling like you're finding your strength not only from the 6 of air. I'm actually going to leave this card out because I feel like it's super integral to your reading. But the 6 of water is Draco, fortitude, resilience, and humility. This is a dragon on here. Draco talks about our ability to not only store things away and have resources available that are like self-cultivated resources. This is what I was talking about with what the higher self is wanting to bring through for you. But fortitude, resilience, and humility shows, again, fortitude, strength. That's what the bear represents too. It's about our inner strength and our ability to create from a place of having rather than a place of lack, and a place of being able to recognize that you're an important person based on who you are. Not just what you have, but it's because of who you are that you have what you have too, if that makes sense. So yeah, being humble about recognizing that life is a gift, and the life that you have in particular is quite a gift. And it just started to rain a little bit. It's like sprinkling, so I may have to pause this in a moment or finish the reading underneath some shade across the yard. Because I don't want to mess up my microphone and stuff, but we're going to keep going. I am feeling like that's part of the message though. The sprinkling here is showing that there's a relief. Oh my god. And also, do you see how the sun is kind of shining on me? There's like a little like parting in the clouds a bit where it's not fully, like I can't see the sun. But there's like this light that's shone almost directly onto me like a spotlight. So I'm feeling like right now what your guides are saying is it's a kind of the eye of the storm for you, where this transformation isn't complete. This integration of your soul and your understanding of who you are at a soul level has not completed at all. For some of you, you definitely want to get a personal reading from someone. I do offer personal readings, but you know, you're going to resonate with whoever you resonate with, so please don't feel obligated to get a reading from me, but definitely get a reading that's a personal reading for some of you if you do feel drawn to that, or some kind of like healing of some kind. But anyway, there's like this relief that's kind of happening. Like when the rain comes for the earth, I feel that the earth always kind of opens up her pores in a way and like accepts this this water. And especially since I was bringing up that desert energy, there's just something here. Like the desert doesn't get very much rain, so when it does, it stores it, it keeps it tucked away for a really hot and dry day. And that's what I feel like your soul has done, especially in past lifetimes, is held some kind of wisdom, some kind of energy just for you, that's for your own growth, and you're finding a way to access that at this point in your life. And I want to bring up the cards that have come out because they're 2 brand new ones, and I believe they're both 4s. Yeah, so 4-4. This is the 4, Mars. Vitality, aggression, and action. So this is like the warrior spirit that's within you coming forward. That could definitely be connected to that bear energy for you. And then the other 4 is Corona Australis, dogma, conviction, and devotion. And I believe this Ursa Major is also a 4 too. So we have 444 out. That may be a significant sign and symbol from your guides at this time. But yeah, Corona Australis, dogma, conviction, and devotion. This has to do with potentially religions that you have practiced either in this lifetime but also in past lifetimes. So if you feel connected to a religion but not really sure why, but you don't feel drawn to practice it in this lifetime, it may be that there are codes or keys of wisdom and insight that are within those like sacred texts or within certain teachings from those religions that you may benefit from connecting back to. For some of you, this is specifically Buddhism that I'm really picking up on heavily for a lot of you. For others of you, I'm feeling this is like Sufi Islam. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. So yeah, there's something interesting. What else about this warrior spirit for pile 3? We have the Delphinus, Knight of Earth, and my finger like really caught that card for a second, to almost like pop it out of the deck, because of the way I'm holding it didn't. And it says goodwill, compassion, and altruism. I feel like for a lot of you, you have some kind of really strong soul mission that you agreed to in another lifetime, where you were very aware of the nature of spirit and the laws of spirit. And so before your death in that lifetime, you made some kind of pact, or some kind of commitment, or spoke into existence or set forth an intention that was like, hey, I really want to just help improve the nature of life on Earth, and the way that other beings on Earth connect with the spirituality of the Earth. And again, this 4, the Mars energy, is still present on this, within this cut of the deck. So there's just something here about your soul wanting to communicate that, and express that through whatever you do. And for some of you, I am feeling you're kind of like confused, because you're like, I have a pretty regular job, like I seem like a pretty regular person, so I don't really know like exactly how this works. But for what Spirit's wanting to say is that like miracles and magic can come through any life. It doesn't really matter what you do in that lifetime. It just matters what your heart is carrying, what the energy of your soul wants to bring through. And this Mars energy does not want to go away. So this is definitely through the actions that you take, because for me, in my understanding of astrology, Mars is our vitality, it's our life force, and it's the way that it gets acted out through our like physical body. So this is definitely based on actions that you're doing. And if you're not currently taking actions through this like feeling of altruism, through this feeling of wanting to ground in these spiritual codes or these spiritual understandings, you're definitely going to be brought into the awareness of how to do that in the future, through this experience of understanding your identity, your deeper soul identity. For some of you, I'm getting the message that your dreams are going to be communicating to you who you truly are. So really pay attention to those and write them down if you can. Otherwise, just really like don't stress if you can't remember your dreams. Know that it's happening on a subconscious level. And that's coming through this card of the 2 of Fire. And this 2 of Fire says fornax, incubation, pregnancy, and nurturance. So this is something like your higher self again coming through to say like, I'm holding you like a baby and cradling you and bringing in a divine love to really bring you through this process, because you can't do this alone. This is something that you really need the protection, the guardianship, and the conservation. This 4 of Air. You really need this kind of... Bears are really good like mother figures too, like mama bear. So there's definitely a very strong guardian spirit that's around you that wants you to know that this is happening. And oh my god, I have never noticed this. I use this card all the time. But do you see how there's like a gathering of figures in front of this little home at the bottom? So yeah, for some of you, you're going to be guided to a community. For some of you, this could be like even a desert community, or you may go on a spiritual retreat, and have a community experience that's going to really affirm to you what's going on for you spiritually. Oh, I just had a card come out. This is the Queen of Fire, Cassiopeia, self-worth, vanity, and pride. And what's on the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Air, Vulpecula, entrapment, liability, and deception. So for some of you, you're really deceiving yourself about this, or you have some... Remember how I said your higher self is fighting these, like, what I wanted to call, like, demonic forces or whatever? There's some kind of spiritual influence that's really trying to get you to doubt your capacity and trying to get you to doubt the actions that you're being guided to take spiritually. And, again, that loud noise, I feel like, is just a confirmation that it is really the time to find your fierceness, find your ability to fight, and to stand up to these experiences that feel like they're like pushing you down and trying to make you question and doubt the love and the sheer like fierce energy that you carry within you. But yeah, self-worth, vanity, and pride. It's like Cassiopeia ends up experiencing a lot of tragedy because she doesn't have a strong understanding of who she is and her value. She needs it to be like validated by others, and she ends up sacrificing her own daughter. So there's something here where you don't want to repeat the mistakes of your ancestors. I'm hearing for some of you where they may have wanted better for you or better for some of you, this is going to be siblings or cousins in your family line that ended up kind of going down a wrong path or getting taken or led astray because they their parents bestowed on them this gift of low self-worth or needing to live up to like standards and expectations that weren't really meant for them. So what you're doing is actually breaking out of these lies that you've been told and seeing for yourself what the deception has really been in your life or in what you've been told. So let's get a final message for this third group, please, Spirit. Something to help them to move forward and know their deeper self at a soul level. And we have this card coming through, 3 of Earth. And this feels like a very comforting and nurturing energy for you at this time. This is Leo Minor, development, apprenticeship, and initiation. This feels like you... Oh, one of my cats is crying. Sorry, she was distracting me, and it's funny because there's a cat on this card. So, I want to almost say cry out to Spirit, and I'm showing you the 5 of Earth, Triangulum Norma, Triangulum Australe, resources, craftsmanship, and labor. This feels like your guides having the resources available to you spiritually to be able to get you through this time. And so if you make it known that you're in need, your guides will make you their apprentice. They will bring through that development that you need and initiate you into those experiences that you're craving and that you know that you're ready for at this moment in time. So that is all I'm seeing for you, Group 3. I want to thank you so much for being committed to your own spiritual path at this time. It honestly brings me so much joy to know that there are others doing this, and also to know that I can be a part of your path in any way at this time. I'm so grateful and very humbled to be in this position. But also, I just want to send so much thanks to your guides and to every force in the universe that has brought us together at this moment in time for this reading. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in another video. Bye.